Did you know that our hearts and emotions have the power to transform the world around us? Learn how the magnetism of the heart connects us to the universe in a mysterious and fascinating way. Welcome. This film explores the unseen connections between our emotions, our DNA, and the universe we live in. Inspired by the research of Russian physicist Vladimir Proponin, this film will reveal the astonishing discoveries in epigenetics, experiments that show the link between human feelings and the structure of DNA, and how the power of our emotions can alter the world around us. We'll explore the impact our thoughts and feelings have on reality, and how the magnetism of the heart influences our lives in unexpected ways. Our thoughts are constant and inexhaustible, whether we are aware of it or not. Each person has around 60,000 thoughts daily. These thoughts generate effects in our lives because each of them represents an energy that we emit into the universe, both in the desired direction and in other directions. The energy created by our thoughts seeks other energies to synchronize with, based on the principle that similarities attract. Each thought, good or bad, initiates a resonance process. Anything that vibrates in harmony with the energy of our thoughts will be naturally drawn into our existence. Your hidden thoughts, the way you judge others, and the endless internal dialogue of the mind create an intention. Through our thoughts, we constantly emit energy outward, greatly influencing what we attract into our lives. Carefully examining our thoughts, especially those about ourselves, helps us understand what we need to change. What is wonderful about all this? We have the power to choose our thoughts as if we were changing channels on a television. If you are tired of the "I am a failure" or "I can't do anything right" show, change the channel and choose "Divine love envelops and supports me in every moment of life." You will feel the difference. In creating our reality, not only do thoughts play an important role, but there is also something else. Until recently, scientists believed that we emit energy only through our thoughts, and that the most powerful energy emitter in our body is the brain, with its electromagnetic impulses. However, our body has an even more powerful emitter, the heart, which generates an electric field much larger than that of the brain. This is one of the most significant discoveries of the 20th century. The human heart has a much more important role than just pumping blood in the body. The California Institute of Cardiology is responsible for this discovery and has conducted a detailed study of the heart. Thus, it was found that this organ is endowed with what we call heart intelligence, and its influence on us is profound. The measurements taken showed that the heart generates an electric field that extends far beyond the limits of our body. This electric field has a specific shape, resembling a wide ring around the body, with a radius of about 2 to 3 meters. The Institute of Cardiology also discovered that the heart interacts with the body and the surrounding environment through the electromagnetic fields it generates. This approach emphasizes the importance of both thoughts and the heart in creating our reality. By understanding and applying these principles, we can consciously change our lives and take control over what we attract in our daily experience. We have reason to believe that the heart-generated field has an influence extending many kilometers beyond our physical body, originating from the heart's location. How does the heart accomplish this? How does it communicate? How is information transmitted? Primarily through emotions. Science tells us that when we experience an emotion, it is translated into corresponding electrical and magnetic energies that interact with the cells of our body and the atoms of our surroundings to produce those remarkable effects discussed in authentic spiritual traditions. These traditions guide the seeker's attention towards the heart, while we direct it towards reason, resulting in a highly mental society based solely on logic. Further heart studies have shown that the electromagnetic fields generated by the heart are also significantly influenced by our beliefs, the things we hold true and shape our lives around. Thus, not only are our emotions emitted externally, but our beliefs as well. The heart acts as an interface that transforms our emotions and beliefs into electromagnetic energy. Through our feelings, love, forgiveness, compassion, as well as anger, hatred, and upset, we can create changes both within our bodies and many kilometers beyond. In summary, it's important to remember that although the brain also emits electromagnetic fields, scientists have demonstrated that the electrical waves produced by the heart are 100 times more powerful, and the magnetic waves are 5,000 times more potent than those generated by the brain. This explains why healing is more readily achieved through emotional support rather than mere thought processes. We emit more energy through our hearts than through our brains. Human DNA has a direct influence on the surrounding world. Another important scientific discovery shows us how we impact the reality in which we live. We know, theoretically, that everything is interconnected and mysteriously interdependent. But let's see how this principle applies to our micro-universe. Laboratory studies have shown that human DNA directly influences elementary particles responsible for all electromagnetic phenomena called photons. The photon, also known as a quantum of light, was studied by Russian physicist Vladimir Poponin in a series of famous experiments in the early 90s. He placed human DNA and photons in a sealed test tube, intending to discover the influence of human DNA on photons. In one of the test tubes, all the air was removed to create a vacuum. The term vacuum can be misleading, as it is not an empty space, but one filled with information and energy. In such spaces, photons can be accurately detected and measured using appropriate equipment. In Poponin's experiment, the distribution of photons was chaotic, as expected, following no particular pattern. Then, human DNA was introduced into the vacuumed test tube, causing an amazing effect. The DNA directly influenced the photons, arranging them into regular shapes by a mysterious force. This discovery is particularly profound because it shows that the matter of which we are made, eDNA, directly influences the particles that make up the surrounding world, like the photons of atoms. For the first time, Western science has confirmed what ancient spiritual traditions have long affirmed. We are an integral part of the world and constantly influence it. The experiment goes further. After the human DNA was removed from the test tube, the photons continued to behave as if the DNA was still there, maintaining their ordered position. It seemed that a subtle field was still holding them together. The conclusion of Poponin's experiment was that there is a quantum field connecting us to everything around us. Through this field, we are interconnected with all things and beings, whether we are aware of it or not. Human feelings, which spring from the heart and are supported by our strong beliefs, also influence DNA and, consequently, atoms. The effects of authentic feelings on DNA were tested by isolating DNA from different people in separate test tubes. These test tubes were then exposed to intense emotional fields, and participants in the experiment used various emotional and spiritual techniques. Electrical reactions were observed in the DNA as the participants emitted strong emotional fields, which contradicts the traditional laws of physics. The participants could influence the DNA molecule in the test tube only through their intense emotions. As the subjects of the experiment radiated love and gratitude, the DNA molecule expanded, opening and expanding the DNA strands. In contrast, when subjects experienced anger, frustration, and stress, the DNA molecule shrank, locking up some of its coding and responding to negative emotions with an obvious contraction. This empirically demonstrates how our emotions, beliefs, and feelings can alter the structure of the DNA molecule and its arrangement in cells. Moreover, scientists have observed that the blocking of DNA codes can be reversed when experimenters once again radiate positive emotions such as gratitude, love, and happiness. Thus, the results of this experiment reveal not only the deep connection between us and our environment, but also the power of our feelings on the structure of our DNA and, consequently, on our health and well-being. Poponin's research therefore highlights the importance of cultivating positive emotional states and developing beliefs that support our health and personal development. At the same time, these findings invite us to reflect on the responsibility we have in interacting with others and our environment, and to reconsider our position in the world as part of an interconnected quantum field. These revelations, demonstrating that DNA genes are influenced by external energies, led to the creation of a new branch of science called epigenetics. The brain functions as a control center that interprets external events and transmits corresponding signals to the body. These signals include both biochemical reactions and electromagnetic waves, which have a direct impact on cells and consequently cause changes in their genetic codes. Using a highly accurate atomic clock, the researchers measured the time interval between the generation of an emotion and the DNA reaction. They found that the DNA response is always simultaneous. Our DNA perceives everything we think and feel in less than a nanosecond, whether the DNA sample is nearby or far away on the other side of the globe. In short, our thoughts and feelings can change our DNA, and DNA directly changes the stuff of which the world is made. When we experience different emotional states, such as compassion, forgiveness, love, but also negative emotions such as anger, hatred, sadness, and jealousy, we directly influence the structure of our DNA. These changes are spread throughout our body and outwards over astonishing distances by the quantum field, affecting everything in this world. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to stay informed about new updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.